Okay guys, it's 10 a.m. I just spent from 5 a.m. till now debating whether I even want to get out of bed today because I'm not, or I wasn't doing well. But I think I finally mustered up back some much needed optimism. So yeah, gonna get to it and I'll keep you guys updated. All right, ready to get to work. It's 10:30. I always like to do on days where I'm not maybe feeling as good, super long meditation. So I sat there for about, I guess, 20 minutes today and just thought about why I was kind of in a bad mood. And I don't know, you just come to the conclusion that, like, whatever the reason, you can choose not to be. And that's the decision I'm going to make today. I've got one call in an hour and I also have some client work to do. So I'm going to pretty much get done my client work, get my vlog up, then I'm going to do the call, and then after that, it is time to work on editing my video, which the more research I do into how good documentaries are created and all this stuff, the more I realize that I am truly overthinking my process, because the video is actually coming along really well in the parts that are actually completed. So that's just a little update there, and yeah, I'm excited to get to it, and I'll check back in with you guys as I get through this sprint here. I got about an hour. Alright guys, a little update. Vlog is done. It's about to be live, but I want to show you guys because I've been getting a lot better at so many things in video that I might even have to make a list to remember all the things that I've been learning. But I want to show you an example of one that I just started doing actually just like 10-15 minutes ago. So a few weeks ago I purchased the Cinegrams LUT pack. It's only 40 bucks or something, and I did it with the goal of just throwing a LUT on my footage and hoping that it just started looking cinematic, and that was not the case. I did it, I tried it, and it ended up just looking really bad because I didn't know color grading, and my skin tone also makes color grading different because I have to account for, I guess, I'm lower exposure. But I want to show you guys just some color grading that I just did in between Premiere and Canva. So I did also have a LUT on this, but to give you an example of, like, this is the footage that it recorded, and I put it to Rec 709, which is normal. And of course this is a different image, but you can see just how much sharper the colors look. And I mean, maybe this footage is also color graded, so it goes like even more so. But yeah, really great skill to learn, because with vlogs, but then also with my main channel videos, I'm gonna be able to learn how to amplify the vibe and everything. So definitely something that I'm gonna start doing some more research into, because I just played around with the sliders a bit based on a little PDF I read, and then also some other previous understandings that I have of it, and it already made a massive difference. So I'm going to keep learning color grading and maybe watch a few tutorials to learn how to master it in Premiere. And then also, if you're wondering why I'm wearing, I mean, I wear jeans every day pretty much, but why I'm wearing a button-up shirt, it's because when I have crap days, previous day, one of the things that I always try and focus on the next day is having change by whatever means. And this is a very easy way to change things. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm having this open, which, if you follow this series, you know just about how rare it is for me to be letting light into my room. And yeah, I mean, just changing things. But it's funny, I'm uploading a vlog talking about a very bad day, and I'm having a very good day. So interesting, but vlog is now live, so I can cross that off my list. And now I have 5 minutes until my client call, but I'm gonna get started on the client work that I have for the day. All right, client meeting done. And now it is time to edit client video. My goal for this one is to get it done within, let me see. I want to get this one done within 60 minutes. I don't think that's possible. I mean, I've already kind of worked on it. 60 additional minutes? Yeah, let's go for it. All right, so I got the client video done a little bit earlier than I expected in terms of the editing. However, I wanted to take some extra time to make a really good thumbnail because I think the video, it's on a very trending AI news topic. So the way to beat out all the people making those videos is not necessarily to have the craziest edit in the world, but to have a really good thumbnail. And I'll just show you guys what I ended up making. This is my client, Yakub. Let me zoom in so you can see it's a model comparison if this is gonna focus. I have no clue why it's not fixing the color, but you can see Gemini versus Claude, and it's, again, to make a simple looking thumbnail like that that looks good, it actually requires a lot more effort than to make some that other people would call complex, especially because you have to like build all the bubbles and whatnot, and it's not templatized at all. So it is whatever, but doing really well work-wise today, definitely on the comeback. And now I have just opened the big project where the majority of work today is going to be going. And yeah, I'm done everything agency related. So now it is just time to focus on my video and continue to double down. The big thing so I'm not gonna worry about this today, but one of the big things on my video that I'm gonna have to figure out is how to create 3D boards for when I go into After Effects and create animations, because you see how, okay, I want you to look at my hand right now. So if you're looking at my hand from the top down, you can't see my finger thing. But if I go like this and I show you the angle, you can now see my finger. This is what the pin is like on the crime board. And when you use a pan animation on a flat image, it doesn't exist. The pin just becomes distorted. So I have to figure out how to get an actual 3D render model into After Effects so I can almost create like a board that I can navigate around, similar to how someone would in Blender, except in After Effects, because I think it's possible in After Effects and will save me a lot of time. Canva actually has 3D features, like it has 3D little spin around objects that you can put in, which are super cool. They actually have a push pin. The only issue is that it's yellow. So I'll have to figure out how to work around that, or if maybe that's a solution. However, really good. I think I might actually have to start working with light in my room. I don't know why, it's just so much. I guess it's just better. I don't know how I didn't think of this. I guess I get in such like a, gotta be dark, locked in all the time, that, you know, sometimes you can't just sit at my desk. Another thing you guys might have noticed is I went from having my desk here, where I'm like touching into my desk on a straight like this, and then I'm working kind of like this because this elbow is off. You can see it's not on the desk, which I come from video gaming background. I need both my elbows on the desk. I'm a low sens gamer. So what I do now, and I've had this set up before with the corner, I just didn't realize how beneficial it was, is I have both my elbows like this, so working on my keyboard and everything just becomes way easier, and both my elbows are planted, which also gives me like this really nice little slouchy posture, which I can sit in for a very long time. So it's the minor things like that, but it really does make your work more comfortable and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of a reset, get in the headspace. And my goals for today are to edit chapter 11 and 12, finish all the B-roll placement for the video, and then I can get into going ahead and actually editing. And now I also have to install RAM into my computer, which is on the way from Amazon. So whenever that arrives, I will go ahead and take care of that, but definitely coming along smoothly. So I'm happy about that, and yeah, that's the update. All right, everything has been tested, and I'm just finishing screwing in to the computer here. I don't want to make it too tight, but all sealed up again. Let's put you back in here, and we've got 64 gigabytes of RAM. Once I go back here and plug this thing in again, boom. Boom. Wait for it to load. Do a little bit of cleanup. If you're watching this, thank you, Jordan. I don't think I would have been able to figure this out without you, and it's not my first time saying that. The guy saves me from a lot. But, whew. All right, loading up again. By the way, I've already loaded up, so I know exactly what it's gonna say and look like, but share the experience with you guys. So we've got booted up here. There we go. Boom. You guys can't know my pin, but then I go to the task manager, performance, and look at that insignificant number. But before it said 16, now it says 64. I have 2 more slots open, and my timelines move smooth. I can open as many tabs as I want, and I got better performance than all those crappy Macs. On a Mac, that upgrade costs you like $1,000. And I could spend another 300 US and get 128 and fly everywhere. Lags doesn't exist. But yeah, I'm honestly super happy about this. Gonna make editing a lot more fun, because it sucks to go through like editing slumps in general, but it especially sucks when it's like laggy and everything too. So this is super sweet, super happy, super duper happy. It's 7:17. Today's been pretty good. I haven't got as much editing done as I want to, but again, it was because kind of lag issues, and I knew that this was coming, so I wasn't like stressing or getting in a little mood about it. So now that this is all good, I'm just gonna play around on my computer a bit. I like did a test where I just like opened as many YouTube and Twitch tabs as possible to see, but it really doesn't lag like anywhere near the amount that it did. So I'm super happy about that, and I'm just stalling while I log into Premiere here to show you guys the timeline and just like how much quicker I can get through stuff. So you can see opening project. I mean, this shouldn't go any faster. This doesn't really, like, this isn't what it does. RAM, or random access memory. The main thing that I understand for editing that it will help with is just the timeline and general load speeds of things. So boom, boom, and if my camera dies, you just want to have to imagine that it's quick, but look at this. So I'm going on the timeline here, and it's like I can click play here, and it actively plays almost immediately when I click it. Before there's like a 5-second delay. I can just boom, click, boom, awesome. And I do a preview on the timeline, and it's not amazing still, but it's smooth pretty well, completely the whole way through, which I didn't have before. Same thing with B-roll. It's amazing. I can edit now. Boom, $300 of value. Peace! Guys, I really tried to stop running, and not because I think it's bad or anything, but just because it is, I didn't feel like I was getting the same push that I did when I did calisthenics, and that was true muscular wise. Like, I kind of became weak when it came to push-ups, pull-ups, and all that stuff, but when it comes to mental, of just clarity and being able to think, nothing really beats a run, and more importantly, the walk after, right? I used to go on literally just walks anywhere that I lived, but here in Florida, it's a little bit different. Not really nice, as many nice places to walk that are timely, if that makes sense, right? Like, you gotta spend an hour walking there, and then it's a whole commitment. Versus here, I'm able to go out for a run and walk back, and it's probably about an hour and a bit round trip. So yeah, it's much better, honestly, than doing the calisthenics. And I think, honestly, the answer is both. But the problem is, I literally don't leave the house if I only do calisthenics workouts, which is no good. So yeah, that's kind of the roundup how I'm feeling about things. Honestly, this RAM is a life changer, because I just did like some test plotting of the B-roll and whatnot, and I can actually work, right? Like, again, one of the many things that when I first heard it, I was like, yeah, right, you're just being fussy. When I heard a creative or any kind of content creator say, when I have laggy or slow speeds, I can't get work done, and I get it now, because there's also that weight on you mentally when all right, I don't know how he got that looking at me. But yeah, anyways, the big thing and takeaway is I have now real no excuse, and it helps so much when you're making the videos, because I can fly around so much quicker. There's no real loading delay or anything that I've dealt with, and like I said earlier, there's no actual improvement to load speeds and like export and all that stuff. It's, I guess, what RAM covers. So random access memory, which is like any kind of just function, not like a dedicated function that's channeled towards a certain part of the computer, just like the anything function, and having that be fast. So that's been massive. That's honestly such a big breakthrough for me, because yeah, now I can really speed up the process there. Other kind of reflections on the week. I got a client this week, so that's always cool. Great guy. And like I said, until this video goes out, I have not been taking on clients or doing anything like that. This was really just like one of those very weird incidents that, I guess, call it fortune that you begin working with somebody, because he found the calendar link on one of my super old videos,
and booked in. I didn't even know I had it set up still. And I didn't have a link on the call. He wasn't gonna show up, I wasn't gonna show up. And it turns out that I am able to help him, which with him, I'm so confident that in the next 30 days, he'll be making some good cash. So that's always awesome. Beyond that, let me think what else I've got going on. All other clients delivered for well this week. I'm at a point now where my service delivery is getting pretty much to the max of where I can get it without systems. So what I mean by that is like my client communication, I've got that really dialed in. I've got my overall just like flow, punctuality, but then more importantly, I feel on top of everything to the point where I can tell my clients that now they feel on top of everything and in the loop. And then also the consultative end, just as I get better at YouTube, being able to help them out more as well. So everything's really good there. And yeah, like I said, yesterday kind of sucked. The day before that, it sucked until I made a hard decision and then had a hardish conversation, but one that I know is for the better. And now I just have, again, like full clearance. And this is a recurring theme in my life that I've seen, but you really do sometimes just have to get stripped down to the point where you can build a foundation so strong it's unbreakable for your business. And that's kind of been a massive thing just going on for me. I see so many entrepreneurs and people that I've met in the space, and then even my own business is why I'm saying this, but they'll get their companies stripped down because it's built on a weak foundation. And when I say weak foundation, it has key man risks in it, but it also has platform risks on it. And it also, and there's just, you can repeat that time and time again. Now, the biggest one, because platform risks are one that I think hedging against it doesn't make sense if you're trying to grow. So for example, hedging against platform risk. I'll give you a great example. If you're running Facebook ads, also launching Google ads, right? So if your Facebook ad account gets shut down, you're okay. Or maybe you're big on YouTube, but that's the only place your audience is. You start posting on other platforms to build up your social there and like making conscious effort to do it. I think that's a waste of time, honestly, because at the end of the day, if you're not in a position where you're already kind of at a place where you no longer really want to attack as much and you're just trying to play defense and make long-term plays, then there's no point. And because of that, the more important contingency that I see people missing and myself missing is skill hedging. So the amazing and example I think we're going to see a lot more in the future, and I actually had a client who made a video on this, and it's kind of what resurfaced in my mind, but all these people that don't know how to code making software, right? There's a massive skill risk there where they can have small businesses, but they won't ever truly be able to get to like big boy numbers because of that kind of risk factor. And you might be able to point out like fringe examples where, you know, so-and-so founder had no clue how to do X, Y, Z, but managed to pull it off. But I think in those situations, people really just underestimate the skill of the particular founder because they want to kind of discredit the person. I think like a prominent example of that is Elon Musk at SpaceX, right? You could say, oh, well, he doesn't know how to build rockets, X, Y, Z. If you read his biography, he was able to hold his own in conversation with Russian astrophysicists trying to buy Soviet rockets and negotiate and debate with them. And he's also able to consistently audit, ask questions, no compartments. And there's multiple of the core rocket scientists at SpaceX that he's hired. And I think the quote is, he'll surprise you with what he knows sometimes. Sometimes it will seem outlandish, but then it'll surprise you with things that he knows. So these people understand every part of it. Like, people have this idea. You really think Steve Jobs didn't understand how the phone worked? People just think he like stood around there and what's it called? Just like bossed Steve Wozniak around and made it. Of course, Steve Wozniak was the lead guy for it, but people forget. I think it was, maybe I'm remembering the story wrong, but Jobs worked at, it was either like Sega or Nintendo, like it was a game company, and he got kicked out of the office for being barefoot, or because he smelt bad or something. But the guy was a very skilled coder before anything. So I just want to bring that up too, because going back to my business, my line of work, what I do, it's that same idea of how am I going to be able to be a content creator when I'm not able to nail every single aspect of it myself, right? I'm not able to nail the editing, the thumbnail, the title, the script writing. How am I, my face, going to be the content creator, right? Like, maybe if I'm a specialist behind a certain thing, but if I am, the guy for it, it doesn't make a lot of sense, So I say all that to be, my last business, I had a massive deficiency, and I had a partner who was incredibly talented at marketing, ads, and just overall front-end ability. And because of that, I almost got like this morphed operator skill set where I became product, pretty much anything that wasn't human facing, right? That's kind of how I'd explain the skew. Anything that wasn't directly human psychology related, outside of YouTube. And that is a big part of, I guess, where it comes from for me, because I looked at what I wanted to do, and I've done the analysis on like brand, coding, any form of leverage, private equity, and I really do think, as much as there's big yields to get in all of them, I think there's no more, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no simpler kind of cash flow in business and peaceful and elegant kind of model than the distribution one, which is learning the skill of content creation and having brand. Because the other ones are, to a certain extent, going to be plunging you into more chaos, which I have no issue with on an isolated factor, but like, to me, the idea of taking on VC money and now having to deliver XYZ is almost like the slower path to, in my opinion, becoming a wealthy person in terms of cash, right? Like, I don't want to be the rich guy who doesn't want to tank his stock, so he's taking loans against it instead of selling as like a funny form of tax evasion. Like, all that stuff's cool, but I don't want to be doing that for cash flow. I just want the money, and I think that, especially with the way the financial system's going, that's also the best one to have, because the other ones make you so much more susceptible. But yeah, that's just kind of my thoughts there. And again, back to the point from the third time, that's why I'm learning. First, it was learning how to write scripts and just do like basic YouTube stuff. Then it was the moment where I was like trying to create master strategies for almost a year, just trying to like, I don't know, somehow beat the YouTube algorithm. Then it was going into the phase of understanding that I need to improve my optics and brand more, and trying a whole bunch of branded gimmicks, not understanding how cameras worked and how to make all this stuff better. And it's just been progressively ramping up the quality, learning Photoshop, hiring an editor, Frame, then it was Premiere, now it's After Effects. It's a continual kind of upward progression. Color grading and all of the set design, like all of it. And I will truly say, having that skill set with the combined ability of also being enterprise minded from having run the business before, I think is a force to be reckoned with when really wielded properly. And that's what my goal is. That's where I'm going. But the key thing that I want to visit back to is I have to be foundationally proficient at everything in order to truly propel myself, right? I could, like I said, I could have kept working with my current editor and the videos would have stayed at a 7 out of 10. And I talked to him about this because I'm still going to be working with him in the near future. But the conversation was, hey, I'll have to kind of learn how to do everything myself so I can come back and actually show you what a 10 out of 10 looks like and actually collaborate with you on it, because I don't expect you to figure this stuff out for me, and I also can't get it done. Like I can't have it done through you. I have to be able to learn how to do it and pull it off. So it looks right now from the outside, especially up until more recently, like I was just a crazy person, especially on these vlogs. But I know as I keep getting better and better at this stuff, it will really change. And that's what I'm here for. So that's the roundup on the week. Again, really good week. It's great to know that every week I am walking away with improvements, right? This week I improved my computer. I improved and had the hard conversation with my editor to go on pause temporarily. I improved on the video chapters. I'm nearly done there now. I figured out the style that I want to make, learning documentaries. I took a client on board. Like, great week overall. As much as there was some turmoil in the latter stages, you really can't complain. So I'm kind of realizing it as I say it, but yeah, it really wasn't a bad week. I was under the assumption it was a terrible week before this, but I'm happy, and the fact I can say this every week is what matters. So even the month of October, I know, I guess it's midway through November, you really lose track of time because I'm only working on one thing. It's been a rough 2 months. You gotta trust me on that one when it comes to progress, but in terms of education and progress too, but just not public progress outside of anywhere on this vlog. By the way, I posted, I think, for the last 30 days on this channel without gaining a subscriber, single one. So that's also something I'm kind of proud of, is just continuing to do this, because again, my thought with this whole series is just undeniable. right? How can I look at my brand, my reputation, and have it literally be undeniable? And the only reasonable conclusion I would come to is if I showed it all. And I've done stuff in the past, but you guys are seeing me start this series making like, I guess this month I'll make maybe $3,000 US. And I have savings and everything, of course, but kind of really peeling things all the way back just to learn this. And that's, at the end of the day, what I am proud of. Actually, wait, no, the revenue is not, no, because I have, okay, if we count new revenue, 3,000, but I have previous clients too that if you count from the agency. So regardless, it's still documenting the entire thing because relative, I'm really not that far on. So yeah, let me think of one more thing else to say. Something I've been kind of trying to fight through is just developing, honestly, just when you're learning something new, it's really easy to get demotivated. And I know that sounds ironic because learning something new in the human brain is like the most dopaminergic or dopamine inducing part. But maybe as I'm saying this, the issue as to why I found it so hard to edit, and I've still been able to edit, it's just been really hard mentally to sit down, is because I've been setting kind of these time frames for myself. First, it was I need to have it posted by November 1st or October 30th. That was the first one. Then it was, now I need it by November 15th. And now I'm like November 30th, and it's already the 21st. So again, another theme during this time has been the more I release the expectations of certain timelines, usually the better work I'll end up putting out. So maybe this is my official announcement that I'm just gonna forget whatever kind of timeline I had for getting the video done and just do what I can do in a day. And that will probably be the best thing for me. So that's gonna happen. Honestly, that might be a huge unlock. And beyond that, I'm on a roll here. Let me just keep spitting things off. The next thing that I'm so excited for is what this is all gonna look like when I am fully proficient in making my own videos myself, right? Just being able to go from concept to complete video in uber high quality in all aspects with no external assistance. That's really what I am excited for, because at that point then I can start increasing the volume of videos. And I don't say that from like a decrease in quality standpoint. I just mean I won't be slowed down through having to figure every little thing out. I can start to templatize kind of the same way I've done for my thumbnails. So that's gonna be so fun, because then, and yeah, I'm excited to start selling again. It's exciting, and the idea of bringing on clients properly, starting to also just go out there and clothes, yeah. I mean, what can I say? I'm excited to make more money because I'll be able to buy some nicer things at the cash flow, the FX3, all that stuff. And also just start putting more aggressive investments again because, like I've said, well, I haven't said this before, but I watch the markets pretty closely, and I love that I've been able to do that because I get to learn so much about them, how they're functioning, and seeing how people operate without necessarily having a lot of my money in the high risk, more volatile stuff. So that's been awesome to see, and I'm excited for when I'm also like an active player and seeing, like a weekly dollar cost average into it and whatnot. So that's kind of my weekly Yap Attack. Great week. I'm so happy for it, and yeah, just the progression, I hope anybody on this journey or a similar one can look at this and be inspired, because once again, if I had this on the people that I look up to, I would have binged it and consumed it fully and learned so much. I think like Sam Ovens, Iman, even TJR had a daily series. When I made his video, I ended up watching the whole thing even after doing the video, just for like curiosity, inspiration, and enjoyment. So yeah, not much more to say. I'm going to go home. I might do a little bit more editing, but I also might just talk to my friends, see how everybody's doing, whatnot, and yeah, just I don't know, just cool off sometimes, because that is, like I said, you only want to go to 80%. I learned this week, you go to that 140% and you're gonna have a bad week. So that is that's that. Peace.